Okay, so what happened when there were riots? Are people on the roof?
Yep. So some people went on the roof. Other people were on the road. Rioting. And they grabbed all the dumpsters, the neighbors, our business too, and they put it on Lake and Grand between over there. You can see the mark is still on the intersection.
So this line across the street here?
Yep, that's where they put the big fire, and then they went inside.
And they lit the fire on the street there with what, dumpsters?
Yep, with dumpsters. Yep, and then they had a big fire for about half an hour, 30 minutes, and they went uptown, and they came from that side. So they burned all these like it's almost like a 100 business. They shopped it. They clear out all this business. If you go down right here, there's this business. What is it called? A pawn shop.
Yeah.
And that pawn shop is
Talk a little louder if you could.
yeah, and that pawn shop is literally cleared, like done. They did it like 4 or 5 nights, straight.
And were they threatened? They were threatening to burn down this whole building?
Yep. And we had to put signs for police don't. Still, we have a sign. If you look at
Yeah, let's walk over.
Yeah. Still, they have signs here, and there is some people who have domestic animals like cats and dogs.
So you had to put on these boards, kids live here, so they wouldn't burn it.
Yep, and we had our kids out too, so we had to talk to them. So
And the kids were outside.
yep. Yeah.
Were they scared or what was?
They were scared to death. Everybody is. We had to, because we had no way of controlling them. Some people were going, downstairs. They broke down this business. Other people they could go, downstairs, all the way, the alleys. So we had to, watch out, and there was no police or.
And your
out.
friend said you were up for 3 days straight.
Yep, we had been up for 3 days.
No sleep?
We could sleep during the day, it cools down, and then, but it was starting right after, whenever the sun sets, it was crazy. They were starting burning, looting, So it was like a crazy. The first 3 nights we had it, the worst night we had in the time I have been here for 10 years.
And were the police around or did they retreat at some point?
I think the police the first 2 nights they these rioters they became mobile, and then the police gave up the first 2 nights. The third night they would come after an hour or 2 hours if you call them. Sometimes they would come when these people hit here or anywhere else in this business, and it would take them the police show up after 3 hours. So literally they these rioters or looters, they would done everything.
And did the military come eventually?
You mean the National Guard?
National Guard, yeah.
The National Guard, when they came, I think the fourth night. That's when they were allowed to, to put boots on the ground.
When the governor just sent them.
Yeah, when the governor sent them. So, the response I think was too slow. Because when these people are rioting peacefully, almost 300, 400 people were on the road, doing other things.
And what happened when the National Guard arrived?
When the National Guard arrived, I think they came around 3, 4 in the morning, and 5, 6 o'clock they arrested a lot of people all the way down uptown.
The National Guard arrested?
Yeah, they arrested almost a lot of people in that night when they came here, and it has been.
Was your opinion good or bad of the National Guard who came?
Using military for civilian, no, I'm not for that, but I think it would have solved a lot if the first 2 nights, the police came out and they followed people peacefully, and the rioters are not allowed to, proceed at night, that would help, the safety.
Right.
But anybody that's doing rioting at night, I think there's some fishy business going on. I mean, it would have.
What struck you as fishy about it?
Especially as just there's no way controlling 2,000-3,000 people, at night. It could go either way. I'm lucky. We are very lucky that it didn't burn. The building we live. So,
You live in this building or the one?
Yeah, I live in this building. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we were.
And they tried to burn like this Popeyes.
No, not
Or no?
They just breaking all these business.
Oh, okay. Because he
So-
said they tried to burn some of these other places. No.
Yeah, that building. That new building. I think
So they tried to burn this building here on the corner.
Yeah, but they have it's a new building, so the fire systems were very solid. So that kind of helped. It put out the fire.
And what they were taking the cars from the Enterprise or something?
Yeah, some people took it. They would jump start and drive it to the building. Some of them.
Wait, so they jump started the rental cars in the Enterprise and just drove them into the buildings.
Yeah, that happened.
That seems crazy to me.
It is crazy. and I have never seen more people here than my life. It's been ugly. I respect the public anger, but I think we carry it too far. To burn our city. Right now it's if I need ATM, that Wells Fargo is burned. U.S. banking like Midtown area is burned. The other one on Uptown Uptown on Hennepin, the TCF is burned. Or robbed. So all these businesses are still boarded. So
And we're over a month later now.
and it's over a month later. So our life is very hard right now. So and you could see the business. This was a thriving business.
So this was a thriving area.
Yeah, this was a thriving area. You could see the newer apartments coming. The area changing. Less crime it was. So right now you will not see any police. So if you call the police right now, they would come after 2-3 hours. So the response thing, the police is very slow right now. Yeah. And we had, that's the business. They had a break-in the other night. So
Which business?
the Neo Gyro. And the police came out like an hour later. They arrested the guy.
Yeah.
And then they had to let go the guy who
They let him go?
Yeah, they arrested the guy. They were 4 people. So, but then they had to let go. The police didn't show up, so they can't hold the person.
Oh, you mean like the private security arrested him?
Yep, the private security. They arrested the guy, and then they're like, they gave up. They just gave up.
Who were the rioters? Could you get a sense of who they were?
All Minnesota people and people from neighboring states, or maybe further. Who knows? I could see a lot of different plates.
So there were carloads of people coming,
Yeah.
and some with out-of-state plates.
Yeah, a lot of out-of-state plates. I could
Like what
see.
states?
I think I've seen Illinois, which is I think Illinois. I've seen Wisconsin. I've seen Iowa. I've seen Ohio. I've seen a lot of plates. Different plates, and different nationalities too. A lot of a lot of minority, a lot of Caucasians. So the people were mixed.
So there were a lot of white people doing the rioting as well.
The night that it happened, the burning, most of the people were white,
Really?
especially middle-aged, like up to 18 to 35, There was a lot of blacks too.
So like younger white people.
Yeah, one.
See, a lot of people when people ask me about what went on, they assume that it was all black people rioting or something. But I say no, it was actually the ones who incited it seemed to be a lot of whites.
Yes, I have even videos, 100%. So I can send you.
You have video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send you by the time you ended this interview. So the people who were here, there weren't any specific, ethnic group,
Right.
They were mixed. But the night the rioting happened and the burning, I could see a lot. There were more white people than blacks.
Yeah.
But the first night when the law and order lost, it was black people. I could say that.
Right.
The first night, there were a lot of people, holding guns, spitting the police, insulting the police, and they were very mobile. So the police, they had no way of controlling, the anger of the people. But in my opinion, all of this could have been avoided. I think if the city, the city, responded in a way that puts down the anger, not inside them, just like the what is the guy, what is called the attorney, city attorney, I don't know his name.
Like the prosecutor.
Yeah, Mike Freeman, right?
Right.
So I think that kind of worsens the situation when he said that he has no evidence. What more evidence do you need for it?
Yeah, everybody saw the video.
Yeah, there's like almost 20 people around.
But then he gave in a few days later and charged them, So, but it was too late, I guess.
No, that just put fire, the shit, and the city mayor or whatever he was doing. I mean, they knew it was happening that, but they kind of waited, this shit, So now a lot of minority business are burned, a lot of other business, not only minority but all Minnesotan, So what are we gonna do then? The city is losing, tax money, and now there's less police, Now the police are angry too, So then,
Well, the Mexican guy who runs a convenience store there, Somali, who runs a deli down that way, told me that the police were scared.
not as scared necessarily. What they I think the police are always scared. There's always a danger to them. This isn't like a easy, job, but I think it's generalizing the police for few bad, cops. It's very, it's a very bad idea, And we need the police, to be honest. If something happened to me, I have to run to the police. If there's no law and order, then we cannot function as a society. We need a business, but we also need an accountability for police. Wrongdoing. It has to be decisive and quick. That I am supporting 100%.
What did you think when you saw the riots occur other places in the country? They started in Minneapolis, but then you had Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, everywhere. It seemed like this was this sparked it,
I think it's been boiling up. It's a lot of things happen. So
You think it has to do with because of COVID, people had to stay inside for a long time, maybe had energy building up?
I think you could say that, but not necessarily. But I think a lot of racial tensions were growing. We have a president who thinks that it's not happening. We have, there's a guy that was killed in Atlanta. Amadou Abri. I don't know his name.
Right.
He had the people who did, the father and the son. They haven't been charged for a while. Any crimes, about 2 months.
Right.
And
But it's interesting because if there's racial tensions, then why is it that there were so many white people? It's like how do you explain that?
No, not tension as against the whites. But they think the police are corrupt.
Right.
When I say racial tension, I don't mean white versus black.
Right.
We know all that. This country can,
Just discontent overall.
Yeah, content overall. I think more white people were protesting. For George Floyd than what blacks. So I cannot.
More whites than blacks were protesting for George Floyd.
Yep, in Minnesota, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
It's that's on record.
Right.
So that's a good change, but we cannot say this is racial tension. Not necessarily though, but this was like a police, minority community versus police,
And just kind of societal unrest.
Yeah, society
in general.
And then the people were like had a free time, not going work because of the COVID-19, as
Right.
we mentioned. So I think that kind of gave them, the maces, to group up and do this, But you can see right now it's boiling down, and it's more quiet. So,
All right. What was your name?
Ali.
Ali. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you, sir. Thank you.